Our next guest is the number 3 ranked welterweight, beating the super tough Demian Maia in his last fight. He's arguably one of the biggest standout fighters coming out of 2017, known for his ruthlessness in the cage and also the chaos he causes out of it. He is Colby Chaos Covington. Colby, welcome back to the program. How are you today? Because we know you've just finished with training.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm doing great, man. Just got done sharpening the tools, and thanks for having the new king of the welterweight division on the show.
It's good to have the king. It is absolutely our honor, and it's been a few months since we spoke to you, King. We obviously saw you briefly down here in Australia. What have you been up to since?
Not much, man. Just been training hard every day. I love perfecting my craft, and I love the process. I like to get better, and I enjoy the process of getting better. So, I'm always getting better every time you see me out there, just like my career. My next fight's going to be my best fight.
We know you've been traveling around a bit. Sometimes you're doing Impact Wrestling tapings. Where are you joining us from right now? Are you in Florida? Or whereabouts are you in right now?
Yeah, I'm out in Miami, Florida right now doing some training. And, I've been doing some Impact tapings out in Canada. And then I'm also heading out to Rahway, New Jersey next weekend. And I'll be doing a show called Wrestle Pro. And it'll be streamed live on Twitch. If you guys want to check it out, I'd check it out, man. The spectacle I'm bringing to that show next week is going to be something.
Nice. I'm wondering, Colby, because obviously there's a lot of pro wrestling influence in you, and I imagine you were a big pro wrestling guy growing up. Did you have anyone that you looked up to? Any favorite pro wrestlers? I know me and Dennis, we were big fans of obviously Sting and guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Anyone that sort of, I guess, tickled your fancy that you looked up to?
Yeah, definitely. If you smell what's coming, that was my man growing up, The Rock.
Yeah.
And what will you be doing at the show, Kobe? Have you done any pro wrestling training yet? Are you looking to possibly even get in the ring and do some pro wrestling at the same time as fighting? Because your friend King Mo, he's done a bit of pro wrestling. There's a lot of guys like Bobby Lashley who are good pro wrestlers also fighting at the same time. Are you looking to get into the ring and actually have a few matches?
Yeah, that's definitely the plan, in the future. I got great coaches around me, a guy named John Hartnett who doesn't get enough credit. That guy's, man, teaching me all the ins and outs of pro wrestling. And then another guy, Stevie Richards, So
yeah.
I have a great team around me. Obviously, Bobby Lashley and King Mo are they're some of the best in the world. So I see them every day at American Top Team. And then my manager, Dan Lambert, he's the best manager in the game for pro wrestling. The gimmick we're running, we're going to be better than Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar.
Was there ever a time, like I know a lot of wrestlers, they say that, well, if there was more money in MMA back in the day, we would have become MMA fighters. Was there ever a time where you considered, maybe when you were in college of going to pro wrestling instead of MMA? Were you ever at that crossroads?
Yeah, I was definitely at that crossroads. It was a tough decision, but luckily, my manager, Dan Lambert, he's the one that won me over and told me, after he seen me train MMA at American Top Team, he was like, hey, man, let's compete, man. You're going to be the best in the world. There's no one that can stop you. You're unstoppable in MMA, so let's go get that world title. And pro wrestling is always there. You can look to do that down the road. So, I just got to thank Dan Lambert for keeping me in this so I can be where I'm at now to be the best fighter in the world and bring that belt home.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously you are arguably one of the biggest emerging names to come out of 2017. You made a huge splash. Your stock is at an all-time high. As you entered the new year, because obviously we're still in January, did you sort of get a chance to look back and reflect on everything that you'd accomplished and your sort of new notoriety now?
No, I got a chip on my shoulder still. I'm not where I should be. If it wasn't for the fake champ Tyquil ducking me, I'd already have a belt around my waist. But he's too scared, and he's out here in Hollywood gossiping about the Kardashians. He's not ready to come back and defend the welterweight title. So, I can't look back until I get my belt. I'll look back on what's been accomplished after I get my belt. But in the meantime, I got my eyes on Tyquil Woodley.
There's been some people that have been a little bit negative about your rise. Rory MacDonald said over the weekend that you're the low part of the MMA world and that it's a sad time at MMA because you're getting so much attention. Were you surprised that you caught his attention even though he was fighting for a title belt for another company? And what did you think about those comments?
No, I wasn't surprised. Rory MacDonald is just jealous of what I've accomplished in the UFC now. I'm the king of the mountain now. Everybody knows I'm number one target. People don't even think about Tyron Woodley because they know he's at the end of his career. They think about Colby Covington. That's the only name that's on everybody's mind is Colby Covington. They want to fight me because they know I'm the king now. So, Rory MacDonald, he's got those sipping lips over in Canada trying to talk big about the king, but he needs to be quiet because he got retired by old man Lawler. So I don't want to have to completely finish off his career.
You mentioned before, Colby, that you're not where you should be, or you're not where you think you sort of belong at the moment. Do you feel like you get the credit you deserve for the names you've beaten? Especially recently beating guys like, say, Demian Maia, who obviously has a tremendous record at both 170 and 185. I feel like a lot of people talk about, Colby's loud, he says a lot of things, but do you think you get the credit for your actual accomplishments?
Not really. I've never gotten the credit my whole career. People have always overlooked me, this and that, but, I don't really care about the credit. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to march through this division like I have been doing. This is only the beginning. I can promise you that right here today, that I will be the champion by the end of 2018. But, the credit, I'm not out. I don't care about the credit. They can hate me. They can love me, but they want to see me fight. Everybody is invested now. So, it is what it is.
There were also rumors about you and Tyron Woodley possibly coaching The Ultimate Fighter. What exactly happened there? Because we thought you would have been a shoo-in for the program.
Yeah, I thought it was the perfect thing that was going to happen. The drama that's there, our history that we have in the gym at American Top Team, and this is a real beef. This was going to spice up The Ultimate Fighter and bring back a different element to the Ultimate Fighter that it's been missing the last couple of seasons. So, the UFC wanted to make it happen, but Diva Girl Woodley's over here crying about a little fake toe injury and a fake shoulder injury. So, it's just sad. It would have really been a great season, but he's out here scared in Hollywood. So, it's tough to make it happen.
And just to confirm, did they actually approach you about doing Tough? Was that an actual serious offer that was on the line that they spoke to you about wanting to do it?
Yeah, no, that was actually a serious thing. I don't ever spit fake news. I'm not like the fake media. So. When I say something, I speak truth. The UFC was trying to make it happen. They approached my manager about it, but, obviously Tyron Woodley refused the offer. So, that's 2 times he's refused to fight me. If he starts doing it anymore, they're going to talk about an interim title or stripping him. So, it's getting close to that line. He ducked me at UFC 219. The UFC wanted to make Tyron Woodley versus Colby Covington for the welterweight title on December 30th in Las Vegas. And then he ducked me for the Ultimate Fighter show. So, that's why he got the shoulder surgery, to make it look good to the media and the UFC, like, oh, I got the shoulder surgery, so he's cleared of his name. Oh, it doesn't make me look bad that I turned down 2 fights, that I turned down a fight on December 30th versus Colby Covington, but I was good to fight Nate Diaz. So, the truth will speak for itself very soon.
Woodley was on Joe Rogan's MMA show recently, and it was clear that he is still very, very clearly bothered by negative comments from fans, and he believes that people disrespect him and don't give him the respect that he deserves. Why do you think he's so, I suppose, easily, not offended, but easily influenced, or the negative comments from fans affect him so much? What do you think that is?
Yeah, I mean, I've always known that, it's an easy way to get under his skin. He's already defeated. He's already broken before I fought him. I don't even need to fight him. I've already beat him. So, he just, he lets things get to emotions. He's he's literally a prima donna. That's the perfect explanation for Tyron Woodley. So, he's out here, he tries to race bait. People say that the people that don't like him and don't want to watch him fight or think he's boring, oh, they're racist. That's his only claim now. So, he's just, he's trapped. He's in a corner, and, he's defeated before anything. The fans have completely gotten his head, and, everybody's under his skin, and he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to handle the position he's in now, but it's okay, because I'm going to take over his position as welterweight champ, and you will see the division be made great again.
It's sort of a funny contrast, you and him, because you're sort of on the opposite. You get a lot of feedback from everybody, and you're able to brush it off and not really care what anybody thinks. But you did mention the UFC wanted to make that fight, you and him, at UFC 219. So what happens now? Do you think that's the fight that they're going to make when Tyron is healthy to come back, and have they guaranteed that when he's healthy you'll be the one fighting him? Because Dana White has said in the past that it's going to be RDA. Yeah,
there's no telling what's going to happen. Dana White said things in the past, and plans change. He even said that in an interview. So, plans can change, and, RDA is not set. They said he's supposed to fight Woodley, but, I don't know, man. Maybe I can steal the fight. Who wants to see RDA versus Woodley? Not a lot of people want to see it, dude. They're both getting over the hill. They're both ready to leave the sport. They got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So, I don't think that fight's the fight to be made. I think the fight is me versus Tyron or me versus RDA. You know, I got the beef with Brazil, and then, you know, me and Tyron, we have a serious beef, man. I want to punch that dude in the face. He thinks he wants to punch me in the face because what I did to him when I broke him in the gym, but he don't really want to punch me in the face, because if I was such an easy fight like he claims I am, then he would come and fight me, but he's out here making up stories. So, you know, we'll see what happens, man. Things can change, man. You know, RDA, I don't know, man. He's been ducking me since Singapore. So, you know, the UFC knows he's ducked me and he doesn't want to fight me. So we'll see what happens. Maybe things change.
Well, the other part of it is obviously, you know, and you know this better than anyone, when you look at the UFC of today, it's all about sort of rivalries, who's the most marketable, what's the biggest fight that they can make. And obviously, you've got that down packed, you work hard with the marketing. Not only that, you've also got a good streak, you've had good success at welterweight, and Woodley sort of, you know, he's struggled to get the fans on his side. I feel like, you know, he needs a good heel, and you're that perfect counter that. Are you surprised that they haven't been a bit more open, you know, to the two of you fighting and just booking that fight already, especially given that, you know, RDA's been at welterweight for a lot shorter time than you have?
Yeah, for sure. You know, Tyron Woodley, you know, he all these fans hate him. He wants to be a hero. He wants to be the good guy. All the fans are telling you, hey, I've literally had thousands of replies on Twitter that saying, Tyron, tagging me and Tyron and saying, Tyron, if you knock out Colby, I'll be your biggest fan, I promise. I'll support you for the rest of your career. Like, aren't you seeing that I'm your money fight? If you want to become a megastar, you have to come and fight me and beat me up. That's what you have to do to get to the next level. But he's not seeing that, man. He doesn't care about that. He's not in this for his legacy or to be the best welterweight fighter. He thinks he's looking for a money fight with GSP or Nate Diaz. Those guys aren't even fighting anymore. They're out of the picture. There's no money fight for Woodley. I mean, there's no money fight for him because he's not a draw anyways. He couldn't sell 100,000 pay-per-views. So, you know, Woodley, you know, it's either me or RDA, but, you know, he's got to fight someone. He's also saying that he doesn't want to fight RDA either, you know. So, you know, he's just two-faced, man. When he was number 4 in the world, he sat out for 2 years to wait for a title shot. Now I'm number 3 in the world. I'm clearly the next in line. RDA fought 3 fights at welterweight. Last year, RDA was getting knocked out by a lightweight Eddie Alvarez and getting beat up by Tony Ferguson. That never happened to me. No one's ever beat me up in my career. That dude doesn't deserve a shot at Tyron Woodley. He's fought 3 fights at welterweight. He was supposed to fight me at UFC Singapore, but he ducked me, and I got a tougher opponent in Dong Hum Kim, the number 7 guy in the world, and I completely ran through him. Another guy who Tyron Woodley fought, Dong Hum Kim. So, you know, RDA is not really deserving. I'm the next in line. I'm the bad guy. Let's do this, man. Let's sell this already. Tyron Woodley versus Colby Covington for the welterweight title.
And taking the title out of the picture, who do you think is the harder fight? If you have to look between RDA and Tyron Woodley, who do you think would give you the bigger challenge?
Dude, they're both pretty one-dimensional in the way they fight, the styles they fight. They're both pretty predictable, easy fights. You know, RDA's short. He's got no reach. He tries to wrestle in fights and put a pressure pace fight. That's going to be easy money for me. And then Tyron Woodley, all he's got is a right hand. You know, you just circle to the right, you put the pressure on him, fight him in the clinch. You know, he gets broken, you know, just like Rory MacDonald broke Tyron Woodley. He just pressure fought him. So, you know, they're both really easy matchups, and I'm just licking my chops right now, man. The future's so easy for me. I'm just at the beginning of my career. I'm still in my 20s. These guys are in their late 30s. I am the future of the UFC, and no one's going to stop me right now. Not even Tyquil.
One of the other names that people are throwing around as a potential matchup for you while Tyron's out is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I'm wondering, has the UFC tried to approach you to make that fight happen? And if so, what happened?
You know, they haven't approached me about that. I think I heard he was hurt from when he fought my boy Jorge Masvidal. So I don't know what's going on. I think he had a broken hand or something like that. But, you know, I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. He might be a fight that we fight, you know, International Fight Week or on the same. If they do make RDA versus Tyron, you know, I'm willing to fight Wonderboy on the same card. That's a perfect co-main event to them or whatever. And that's a pretty easy fight too, you know. Come on, karate, man. Come on, dude. Karate versus wrestling. You really think karate has a chance against wrestling? You guys must be smoking some crazy-ass dope over there in Australia.
And, of course, the final person that's kind of putting his hand up to fight you, because you do have a target on your back, is Kamaru Usman. He recently claimed that you were offered a fight against him at St. Louis but turned it down. Is that true, and do you see a potential chance of him being the next opponent for you?
That's fake news, and I've never heard of that guy in my life.
So just to clarify,
who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is this guy? Like, I'm on the top of the mountain. I'm looking at the top of the mountain. Whoever's at the top of the mountain with me, I'll pick those guys off. I've never even heard of that guy. I've never been offered a fight with that guy.
well, I guess the other question, because he was saying that apparently they offered the fight to you 3 times, and his story is that you guys were supposed to be the main event in St. Louis. But just to clarify, that never happened. You were never offered a contract, nothing.
No, that never happened. That's complete false, fake news. So I don't know why he's trying to say this shit. He had a fight booked with a guy, and he's saying that they were offering a fight with me. I mean, the guy's stories just don't add up, and he's making himself look really dumb right now.
He's even suggested that you and him do a season of The Ultimate Fighter. I guess from a rankings perspective, he's ranked 9th, you're ranked 3. Do you think he's earned a fight against you?
Fuck no, man. He hasn't even been a ranked guy yet. Who the fuck is that, man? I just beat number 3 and number 7, and those guys were clearing out the division and on long win streaks. And you know, me and the guy I just beat just fought for the champion, you know. So we have the champion and I have the same resume and the same last opponent, common opponent. So, you know, I don't even know who that guy is, man. But, you know, I'm looking up. I'm not looking back.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of the title fight, some people have a conspiracy theory that the splash that you made down here in Australia with the whole Boomerang incident sort of affected your chances of getting the next title shot. Just talk to us a little bit about, did you end up speaking to Dana White about it? Was there much backlash over it? And what's your relationship with Dana White now after that whole incident?
Yeah, you know, my relationship with Dana, you know, it is what it is. He understands what I'm doing. He appreciates me. He knows I'm drawing more fans and more eyes to this. I mean, look at it. Just by that Boomerang incident, I drew all the media, all the news to that UFC Australia show. So I pretty much sold their show. So, I did them a favor, man. So, you know, they appreciate what I'm doing. They understand it. So, what can I do? Look at the situation, man. I mean, a guy's coming up and attacking me because of my freedom of speech. He's attacking me because some words I said in Brazil when I beat the Brazilian best welterweight fighter in the history, and I beat him in his hometown, Demian Maia, in his hometown of Sao Paulo. And I said some comments that I felt were necessary for the way they treated me when I was out there. But they can dish it, but they can't take it back. And then everybody wants to act like this Boomerang incident, like, I don't even care about the Boomerang. I think it's funny, dude. I think I might make some shirts and sell them to all the people around the world, you know, with a Boomerang on. What do you think?
I think, you know what, it's funny, we were on a radio station talking about that incident. That's all they wanted to talk about. So you're not wrong that was probably the biggest thing that happened all week. And I think as far as the T-shirts, I think the Aussie fans would go nuts about it. The only thing was we were disappointed because then they sent you home and we didn't get to see you at Media Day. The fans didn't get to see you at the Q&A. So I feel like you need redemption. You need to come down to Australia, come back, maybe do some seminars, maybe come down, I don't know, for another fan Q&A. But as we let you go soon, Colby, what's I guess the timeline or the time frame that you have in your mind? I know you're obviously training. You've got a new Muay Thai coach, it seems, so you're sharpening up your skills. But you're kind of in the situation where you don't really know what's next, and neither does anyone else. When would you like to fight again? What's an ideal time frame? Or are you happy to wait out if it means you'll get the next title shot?
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna wait out and see how the title picture is sorted out. You know, there's some things that have been said, but things change all the time. Like I said earlier, plans change. So I'm gonna wait out. I'm gonna see how the welterweight title picture plays out. You know, I'm pretty busy down here right now. I just bought a house in Fort Lauderdale, so you know, I'm busy doing that. And I'm training, you know, with a new coach, this guy Greg. He's a Muay Thai world champion. He's a beast, man. He's down here in Miami, Florida. So I'm out in Miami Beach, and you know, I'm just gonna keep training and perfecting my craft, and you know, whenever the UFC gives me the call for the fight that I've earned, then I will be ready.
Well, it's good to hear that you've obviously got some things on your plate. You got the new house, so congratulations. And just finally, as we let you go, even though we hear a lot from you, you're still kind of a bit of a mystery. No one really knows sort of who the real Colby Covington is. What are some of the things that obviously you're going to have a bit of downtime? What do you do in your spare time? You know, you finish up training, you have a hard session, you know, you're in the gym practicing. What do you do? What do you like to do when you're out of the gym just to sort of kill some time and enjoy your life?
Yeah, I'm a big movie buff. You know, I love going to the theaters and catching a good movie. You can see me at the movie theaters a couple times a week. And,
you saw Star Wars, and then you got some death threats, didn't you, Colby?
No, I never saw Star Wars. I went and got the spoilers off of Reddit, so I never even seen Star Wars. I just wanted to get the spoilers and just piss some people off, some nerds off. This is Nerd Bash 2018. I got to piss off all these nerds and virgins.
I remember going on Twitter, and that was literally the first tweet I saw, and it was like Luke Skywalker. I was like, well, fuck it. Now I know what happens in the movie, and just but it didn't ruin it for me. I'm not that much into Star Wars. Just quickly as we let you go, what's a Colby Covington recommendation for all the fans listening right now? What's a movie that you saw recently that you thought, you know what, that's a slice of nice. That was a good movie.
Oh man, that's tough. Wow.
Did you see Bright on Netflix by any chance?
No, I don't catch much Netflix. You know what I do a lot? I actually have another little passion. I like to play Texas Hold'em poker. So I go to like the casino a lot, and I go to like Hard Rock, and I'll play these poker tournaments where they're like $200 buy-in, and like, first place will be like $100,000 or something like that. So
wow,
I really, I really enjoy poker on my downtime. I play a lot of poker.
Nice. Have you ever won big, or is it something sort of you still adding the skills and you're sort of working your way up to that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a good resume. I have won like, a couple hundred G's, through my life, like a lot of like $10,000 scores per tournament, so, I played a lot. I've been playing for like 10, 15 years now. So
wow,
I got a lot of experience in it. I play a lot of cash games. So, I do pretty well. I do decent. I win more than I lose, which is what you want to do with your money. If it's going up and it's not going down, that's all that matters.
Well, you might catch him in a movie theater or at the poker table, and most likely in a big matchup next in the octagon. Colby Covington, thank you so much for coming into the program. Guys, make sure to follow him on Twitter. He has a can't-miss Twitter profile at Colby Cov. MMA, of course, he puts up a lot of really entertaining stuff. Thank you for joining us, Colby. Best of luck. We look forward to finding out what next matchup you get. Thank you.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on Submission Radio, and hopefully I get out to Australia one of these days and we get to kick it.